Hello everyone, welcome to Asoebi by Adola. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to draft and sew a princess that bustier. If this sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching, like and comment on this video. If this is your first time coming across my video, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe and be a part of the family. Thank you. Okay, so first you will rule a line across. This will serve as your starting points. Then from there you take down all your vertical measurements, starting with the chest line, the bust point line, the under bust line, and the half length. Your chest line is your bust divided by 6 plus 1 plus 1.5. Your bust divided by 6 plus 1 plus 1.5. Then you rule those lines across. Your chest line, you rule your chest line across, your bust point line, your under bust, and as well as your half length. Alright, so after doing this, then you label them. So I'm labeling it as a chest line, bust point, under bust, and the waist line. Then we'll come to the starting point, which is also the shoulder line. You mark half of your shoulder measurements. Mine is 15 divided by 2, that is 7.5. I will also mark on the chest line and then rule across to serve as my armhole line. Then I'm taking in my neck width, which is 3. Then from on that armhole line, I will go down by 1 inch, connect it back to the neck width to form my shoulder slope. And after doing that, I'll divide whatever is left from that armhole line. I'll divide it into 2 and mark the midpoint so that I can get the midpoint. Then I will measure my bust divided by 4 and place it on my chest line. Go back to the armhole line, go in by 0.75 and then connect with my curved roll as you see me do. This is how we're going to get our armhole curve. Alright, so after doing that, then we'll be inputting our nipple to nipple measurement on the lines. Starting from your bust point line, input your nipple to nipple, the exact measurement. On your under bust, you reduce 0.5 from it, and on your waistline also. For me, my nipple to nipple is 4 inches. On the under bust line, I removed 0.5, so that is 3.5, and I did the same on the waistline. Now you connect with your ruler. Then from there you go in on the under bust line, go in by 1.5 inch for your under bust tightening. That is my own under bust tightening. If you are working with a bigger bust, please use 2 or 2.5 inches depending on the size of the bust. So then from the bust point line, you go down by 1 inch and connect it to the under bust with your curved roll as you see me do like this. Just follow what I am doing. You connect it to have your curve. The next thing is to place your ruler on the mid armhole and connect it to the bust point line to form the mid armhole princess dart. So then you measure what you have, the dart intake on the under bust, and place it, come down on that line as you see me do and place that measurement. So I have 1.5 there, so I came down by 1.5 on that armhole line, and now I am connecting it back to join the bust point line. So we are going to be making use of this new line. Then you go up by 1.5 so as to avoid shortage. When you place on your fabric, go up by 1.5 and connect it to the line. Then from there you will redraw your armhole curve. As you see me do, you place your ruler on that line and then you connect it back to form your new armhole. So I'm just extending the lines there. Alright, so after doing that, we will be putting our body measurements. So on that chest line, we have already marked our bust measurement, so you measure that you have on that line and you add it to it. Then I added 2 inches to it and I marked it. So I'm trying to extend the line so that it can meet up. I'm extending all the lines. So after doing that, we go to the waistline. So you place your tape on the waistline, then you stop at the first dart leg. You measure from the beginning to the first dart leg. You take whatever it is that you measure there, place it on the second dart leg, and mark out your desired waist measurement. I hope you understand this. Then you add 2 inches to it as you did for the chest line. Then you connect it with your rule, and there we are almost done with our drafting. So then I'm trying to blend the lines together. Please make sure to blend so that you will not have sharp edges. Now back to our neckline. So the neckline that we'll be using for this tutorial, remember I marked 3 inches previously, so I'm going in by 0.5 to make it 3.5 inches. Then I'll come down by 5 inches from that shoulder line. Then I will use my ruler to connect it together to form a straight line, and from there I will come down. I want to use 1 inch above my chest line. If you like, you can bring it down to form your desired neckline depending on how much cleavage you want to show, but for me this is perfect. So you roll it like that, just the way you see me do, and then you cross out your dart lines. We are not needing those lines no more. So you cross it out, and then it's time to cut. Please pay close attention to how I am cutting the pattern so that you will not make mistake when doing your own. So we are done cutting out the front pattern. Now let's go to the back pattern. So for the back, just like the front, you will draw your starting line, and from the edge of the paper go in by 2 inches from top to bottom. This will serve as your zip allowance. So mark 2 inches inward and then roll with a straight ruler. Then after doing that, so we are going to be starting the measurement from that zipper allowance, not from the end of the paper, but from the zipper allowance, after the zipper allowance. So now we'll be taking our vertical measurement just as we did for the front. Started by taking the half length, then the chest line. Like I said, your bust divided by 6 plus 1 plus 1.5 will give you your chest line measurement. So also you will mark your bust point line. You mark your bust point line, and then you roll with a straight line across. And then you also make sure that you roll your length, that's the half length, you roll it. And also label just like you did for the front. Then we'll come to the top of the paper. We'll mark our shoulder measurement, half of the shoulder measurement. Do the same thing on the chest line, and then connect with a ruler to form your armhole line. After doing that, you also mark the neck measurements. That's the neck width, which is 3.5, then the neck depth is 1.5. So you connect with your ruler, with the curved ruler, and then you come down by 1 inch from the top of the paper. Come down by 1 inch to form your shoulder slope. Remember, we did the same thing when we were drafting the front pattern. You divide whatever is left into 2 and mark it. Your bust measurement on the chest line. So that's your bust measurement divided by 4. You put it, then on that armhole line, you go in by 0.5 inch. 0.75 for the front, but for the back it is 0.5 inch because the armhole the front is deeper than the back. So you connect it together with your French ruler, just like we did for the front. Then you go to the bust point line, you input your nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. You do the same thing on the waistline. Then from that bust point line, you come down by 1 inch. come down by 1 inch and then you roll it the line. We want to draw our dart. So on the waistline, you go in by 0.5 inch on both sides for your dart intake, and then you connect it to that line as you see me do, like this. And we are almost done with the back pattern also. So after that, you connect it to the mid armhole just like we did for the front. You connect it to the mid armhole line, but this time you are not doing any tightening. So then we'll take our body measurements. We have already marked the chest, that's the bust measurement, we have already marked it. Then on the waistline, you put your waist measurement divided by 4 plus the dart, 1 inch dart, and also you add your 2 inches sewing allowance, which we added for the front. So you add it and then you roll the lines across, and we are done with drafting the back pattern. So quickly we'll do the back tightening. This is to avoid zip bulge. So on that line, you go in by 0.5 inches and then you mark it up towards the mid armhole. You stop towards the mid armhole as you see me do. Then on the waistline also, you go up by 0.5 inch and then you connect it to the first dart leg. This will remove any form of zip bulge that you may have on your dress. And so we are done with drafting the pattern, the back pattern. So easy, right? So without wasting much time, we'll be cutting it out and then we'll be proceeding to cutting on fabric and sewing it together. So I have cut out the fabric, the Ankara fabric, with the patterns that we drafted. I'll be showing you the allowances that I added to it. I've also cut it out on the lining. I cut out the same thing on the lining. Then for the allowances on the center front, I added ½ inch round from the top to the bottom, and I cut it on fold. It's on fold. While for the side front, I added ½ inch round, and we already added 2 inches seam allowance, so there was no need for me to add anything to it again. Then for the back pieces, I added ½ inch round. On that zip allowance, I reduced the allowances that we added because it was too much for me, so I reduced it. So then I added ½ inch round, and I did the same thing for the back with the 2 inches seam allowance. I didn't add any seam allowance to it. Alright, so now we are going to be padding this fabric. We was Bustier without padding, so we are going to be padding it. I'll be showing you. Please watch carefully how I padded the Bustier. If you don't know how to pad and you want a more detailed video, you can let me know, so I'll dedicate a video to padding your Bustier, but we're not really going to be emphasizing on that in this video. The purpose is just to learn how to draft and sew and princess Bustier. So but if you follow what I am doing, I am sure that you will also be able to pad your Bustier using wadding like I am doing. So I am done mapping out the center front part of the wadding, so I'm cutting it out, and then I'll be going to the side front. So this is the center front. Remember, the center front is on fold, so I also placed my wadding on fold and I cut out the shape. So this is the shape that we'll be having for the center front. I'm just putting it on it to cross check that it matches perfectly. So now I'll be cutting the side front. Watch carefully as I cut it. I believe with watching you will understand and you'll be able to cut out yours too. I am done cutting out the parts now, so I'm just placing it on it to check if it matches up. And then the next thing I'll be doing now is I'm going to be placing it on the fabric with iron. I'm going to be laminating it, but before then I will notch the underbust and the bust point on both the fabric and also the pads. I'll do the same thing for the center front. I'll notch the bust point and the underbust. So I'm just showing you what it looks like after placing it on the fabric before I go ahead to use my iron to laminate it. So here I am done laminating it. I added an interface into it to give it this soft look. So I have done that for the front. I also went ahead to add interfacing to the back pieces as well as the lining pieces. I also added interfacing just to give it structure. So then we'll be proceeding to joining it together. So I'm going to be placing the sides to the front, to the center, and we're going to be joining by the 1/2 inch allowance that we gave it. So join the pieces together with 1/2 inch. We'll also do the same thing for the back pieces too. Join it by 1/2 inch. Do the same thing for the other side, and then I'll come back to show you. Okay, I have joined the pieces together. I've joined the lining and also the main fabric. So you can see the way the bust is looking. You can see the way the bustier is standing. So I have also gone ahead to open press the seam lines. I've gone ahead to give it a good press. So that is why you can see the way it is standing. Okay, so now we are going to be joining the lining pieces to the main fabric, and because I'll be joining this to a skirt as a dress to form a dress, I'll not be closing the bottom part. But if you are making this as just a top or a blouse, when you are joining them together, you need to close the bottom part, then you leave only the shoulder open so that you can turn it out from there. But for me, I'm going to be closing all the parts, leaving only the shoulder and the bottom part so that I can join it to the dress. So I'll do the same thing for the front and the back. Now I am done joining, so I am going to be turning it inside out. I left the shoulder and I also left the bottom, so I'll be turning it out from the bottom. I'm just notching the neckline so that it can relax properly when I turn it to the right side. So I am done turning it out. It's time for us to give it a good press. We need to iron it properly. Okay, so I am done ironing. Like I said before, I'll be joining this to a skirt. So I just joined the back pieces by the zipper temporarily. I'm still going to loosen it, so I'll be joining it to the skirt pattern because I'm making a dress like I stated before, but I just want you to see how it looks like. That's why. And when I am done joining to the skirt, as you can see, I'll be attaching the zipper to it. Then I'll be taking the shape by the side. I'll be shaping it with my body measurements, with the body measurements that I am using. After that, I will show you the end result. So this is the end result. You can see the bustier is standing properly. Thank you so much for watching this video once again. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Also, let me know what you think in the comment section. I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.